In today's video, I'm going to give you 10 fantastic retro 125cc motorcycles that are available to buy brand new in 2023. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, it's the Sinnis Outlaw. Now, it's a super cool retro cruiser with a bargain price tag. The Outlaw goes for that 70s roadster vibe, and for a more recent comparison, it actually reminds me a bit of Harley's 883 Iron, which is most definitely a good thing. Although much lighter than your traditional cruiser, it weighs in at 150 kilograms with a 13-litre tank, so it is on the heavier side compared to some of the scramblers and trackers in this class. Still, it gets the cruiser styling spot on. It's got a ride position which isn't too extreme either. The engine puts out 12 horsepower, so it's not at the maximum of CBT allowance, which is 14.8, but still pretty respectable. It likely won't accelerate as swiftly as the lighter bikes here, but you will be flying once you get up to speed. With a £2,999 price tag, if you're a fan of retro cruisers, this bad boy looks fantastic and is as accessible as it gets. If there aren't any Sinnis dealerships in your area, you could also look out for the Lexmoto Detroit, which is a very similar bike to the Outlaw, aside from a few cosmetic details. I couldn't do a retro list without at least one cafe racer, so coming in at number 9 is the AJS Cadwell. AJS is a much respected name in motorcycles, first founded in Britain in 1909. The modern day AJS motorcycles are manufactured in China, but still absolutely look the part, and they really nail that classic British cafe racer design. The Cadwell is also the cheapest model on this list, with a very attractive £2,899 starting price, and that's brand new. The engine used here is an air-cooled single cylinder. It puts out a respectable 12.7 horsepower. Now, with its 11-litre fuel tank fully filled up, the Cadwell weighs in at around 120 kilograms. So, despite not quite reaching the maximum power allowance for CBT, the power-to-weight ratio is very good for this category. As you would expect from a motorcycle that costs less than £3,000, tech features are kept minimal, but you know, that kind of fits the retro theme here anyway. The Cadwell even has some cool analog dials, which I actually love. They kind of add to its vintage charm here. And if you love the cafe racer styling, then this is definitely worth looking at, especially at such an affordable price. Next up at number 8, it's the Bluroc Tracker 125. The Tracker 125 marks a huge step up in spec for Bluroc, whose lovely cafe racer styled Spirit 125 could also easily have made this list, but I've gone with the Tracker partly to cover a wider variety of bikes, and partly because of the new liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine that pumps out a full 14.8 horsepower. So it's pretty good for a Belgian-designed, Chinese-built budget bike. As usual in this category, the visuals are stunning. Black and gold seems to be the vogue colorway of 2023, so that's just fine with me because I happen to love that color combination. But the Tracker also comes in a steel grey and a flame orange version as well. It's got a nice fat 150-inch rear tyre, which I always love to see. It just helps increase that smooth big bike feel, as well as making it look the part as well. The Tracker is extremely light. It weighs in at just 110 kilograms dry, so you could expect it to sit at around 120 kilograms with its 12-litre tank fully filled. Either way, the power to weight ratio is outstanding for the class, and it should be an agile little ripper on the back roads. Excellent looks, high 125cc fun factor, and a £3,999 starting price, not bad at all. Next up at number 7, we've got the retro adventure styled MASH X-Ride 125. Designed in Europe and once again built in China, the X-Ride 125 takes its visual cues from the off-road bikes of the 70s. It comes in white or black colorways, and a few modern touches like the gold rims, LED lighting, digital dash give it some contemporary flair. It does use ABS brakes, which is pretty good because most bikes in this price range are using a combined braking system. The engine is a liquid-cooled single cylinder. It has an 11 horsepower output, so it's not the most powerful in the class, but for an adventure-styled bike, it's relatively light. It weighs in at 130 kilos with a full tank of petrol, so overall the power-to-weight ratio is pretty decent. Despite the adventure styling, this is definitely a bike more at home on the roads, and a decent 10-litre fuel tank makes it an ideal commuter. Starting at £3,899 brand new, it's another accessible motorcycle that is completely different to anything else on the list. Coming at number 6, we've got the Herald Brat 125. Herald are a British company and all their models are designed here in the UK. They've recently begun manufacturing bikes here too, but as it stands in 2023, the Brat 125 is currently being built in China. As you'd expect from any bike in a top 10 retro list, the visuals are outstanding. It's a lovely fusion of classic and modern design. It comes in orange, silver or black colour options, and they all share the same stylish blacked out frame, same upside down forks, as well as a tasty looking stainless steel pipe. Herald lists the latest Brat 125 as having a 14 horsepower engine, which is a big improvement over previous versions, although it does still weigh in at 155 kilos with a full tank of petrol, so it's a little on the heavier side. Still, performance should be decent, and as with most of these 125 bikes, it's really going to excel on an urban commute, nipping around town, or having some fun on the back roads. Tech features are once again kept minimum, but with a £3,295 starting price, this is another great budget option and it looks fantastic. BikeMatters is powered by Lexham Insurance, who have excellent rates on moped, scooter and motorcycle insurance in the UK. So if you are based here in the UK and looking for insurance for your bike, make sure to get a quote directly with Lexham. Simply click the link in the top right hand corner now. We've reached the halfway point, and coming in at number 5 is the Mutt Mushman 125. Based in Birmingham, England, Mutt Motorcycles have a whole range of gorgeous retro bikes on offer. In fact, I could easily fill a list with just their models alone, but for now, I'll focus on the freshly resurrected Mushman 125, which is another absolute stunner. The gorgeous classic scrambler styling is available in titanium or matte green colorways and comes complete with an 18-inch front wheel with knobbly tyres. Plenty of subtle attention to detail is on display, and one of my favourite new features is this vintage looking leather and steel tank rack they're using now. The engine Mutt have is an 11 horsepower air-cooled single cylinder, and combined with a lovely low wet weight of just 128 kilos, it should offer some nice agile performance. The low weight is even more impressive given that that includes a fully filled 15-litre fuel tank, so that's a big tank. Medium range commutes are definitely on the cards with this one. The Mushman 125 doesn't have much in the way of modern features, but that's kind of a recurring theme with these retro bikes, and the result is a budget-friendly £3,750 starting price. Definitely another one well worth a look. And at number 4, it's the Mondial Sport Classic 125. Mondial have some of the finest looking 125s on the market, and for me, this might just be the most beautiful yet. The Sport Classic 125's visuals are inspired by the original 125cc World Championship winning bike from 1949. That bike was ridden by Nello Pagani, and his name adorns the side fairing of this one, and it's practically a work of art. In fact, at a glance, passers-by may assume they're looking at a super premium big bike, but the Sport Classic is actually a budget offering, once again manufactured in China. But don't let all this Chinese construction put you off. Chinese bikes have been improving every year, and this one is built by Zongshen, who have a lucrative partnership with Piaggio, and that means there's a lot of attention to detail here that you don't always find in budget motorcycles. The engine is a liquid-cooled single cylinder, derived from those used in modern Aprilia 125s, and it's capable of 70 mph plus top speeds. Having ridden Mondial's naked HPS 125, which features the same engine and basic setup, I can tell you that the gear changes are smooth, acceleration is decent, and dual carriageway cruising is easily possible. When it comes to features, Mondial have kept things basic, although it does come with ABS rather than the combined braking system which are usually found on these types of bikes. The result is an attractive retro motorcycle with an equally attractive price tag, £4,349 on the road. We're into the top 3 now, and this next entry might be surprising to some of you, but at number 3, it's the Honda Monkey 125. Now, I'm looking to include as large a variety of motorcycles here as possible, and the Monkey 125 is perhaps the most unique of all of them. Honda have taken the engine from their hugely popular Grom and given it a vintage 70s design to resurrect the classic Monkey for a new era. The engine itself is a Euro 5 air-cooled 4-stroke, and despite being one of the lowest power outputs here at 9 horsepower, the Monkey's ultra-low 104 kilogram wet weight means it's going to be surprisingly nippy. The Monkey's design won't be for everyone, but I personally love this retro styling, and the new 2023 version adds a splash of colour amongst all these chrome details with a red tartan seat and red forks. You can also get a shining black version and a banana yellow version, and all three are packed with charm and offer something completely different. The Monkey's small stature makes it a perfect urban commuter, able to fit in gaps other bikes couldn't quite manage. Now it does have a 5.6 litre fuel tank. That's going to limit longer trips, but it's not really what this motorcycle's about. It's for zipping around town, having a great time doing it, and priced at £4,042, the Honda Monkey 125 is perfect for medium budgets and those who want something totally unique while still being very practical. We're into the end game now. Coming in number 2, it's the Fantic Caballero Deluxe 125. The Caballero Deluxe 125 is based on Fantic's excellent 125 Scrambler, but with some tasty visual tweaks and extra details to bring its cool factor to an even higher level. The visuals are spectacular. It's a retro Scrambler fusion in black and grey with a vintage brown leather seat and gold forks for contrast. The large 19-inch front wheel with knobbly tyres completes the classic dual sport look with lovely big bike proportions. The Deluxe 125 isn't just for show though. With a new Euro 5 single-cylinder engine that can put out 14.8 horsepower, it is right at the top of CBT allowance. Similar to Yamaha, Fantic's Italian-built engine is using variable valve actuation. What that means is it has smooth and constant acceleration across the entire rev range, and it even comes with a slipper clutch for effortless gear changes. The Fantic Caballero Deluxe 125 is the most expensive bike in this top 10 at £5,500 brand new, but it excels in every area, making it a 125 motorcycle that is convenient, fun to ride, and with style factor you can be proud of. Some of you may already have guessed what's coming up next. At number 1, it's the Yamaha XSR 125 Legacy. The Yamaha XSR 125 is the cream of the crop when it comes to 125cc retro motorcycles. It's got class-leading performance and an all-round level of refinement you don't often see in a 125 motorcycle. The XSR 125 is a visual treat. It's got a mixture of retro and modern flavours and attention to detail in almost every area. For 2023, we're getting a brand new historic black colourway. Takes an already gorgeous bike up another notch with blacked out engine and lovely gold rims for the contrast. The real star of the show, however, is Yamaha's fantastic 14.8 horsepower single-cylinder engine, which is seen across their entire 125 range. Aside from its generous power, the engine's variable valve actuation technology ensures the acceleration is constant across the entire rev range and makes it an absolute blast to ride. Obviously, if you want something this polished, you have to pay for it, and the XSR 125 doesn't come cheap. One of these brand new is going to set you back £5,200, which makes it the second most expensive model on my list. However, this is a bike that could last for years, and thanks to Yamaha's excellent build quality, should retain its value fairly well. If you want to learn more about the XSR 125, you can check out my full review on the channel. So there you have it, 10 excellent retro 125 motorcycles. Which one is your favourite? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know more about new motorcycles for 2023, why not check this video out right here?